Hey everybody, it's Josh from Rennline, and today we're going to be installing our 987 valved catback exhaust. Let's get started. First step is you're going to want to remove both rear wheels to remove the OEM exhaust. First step is we're going to remove these two 10 mils and this T25 to expose the flange for the exhaust. So we're going to go ahead and remove these three nuts. This can be kind of tricky, so a good tool would be a couple different size extensions, a wobble bolt, and some extended sockets. We went ahead and got the passenger side unbolted. We're going to do the same to the driver's side. Under the car, we have these two bolts that we're going to remove on each side, and that's going to allow the exhaust to come out. Our final step is to grab a friend and we're going to pull this exhaust out. Each kit is going to include a main element, two tubes, two clamps, and your valve controller. For our first step, we're going to go ahead and pre-install these tubes. I'm going to go ahead and put a new gasket on the stud of the flange, and I'm going to loosely install this tube. We're going to do the same on the passenger side. I'm going to go ahead and install each clamp on each tube. Make sure to have the nut in an accessible location. We have these two adjustable brackets on each side. These can be adjusted by loosening these nuts and these nuts, and this whole bracket will move forward and back in case there's an alignment issue on the exhaust. And we're ready to throw the exhaust on. Grab a friend and we're going to get this thing installed. Bolts stack up. For this bracket, there's going to be a bolt, exhaust bracket, there's going to be a spacer in between, and then a nut on the back. Now we have everything fitted up, we're just going to go ahead and tighten everything up. Your kit will also include your choice of tips. I would go ahead and loosen these clamps up and put them in the best orientation when you install them to make it an easy install. And now we're just going to install these protective covers. Now that the exhaust is installed, we're going to get into the engine bay and locate the vacuum line. For our next step, we're going to pipe up the vacuum controller. I'm going to go ahead and pre-build the vacuum. So we're going to need the brass T, the check valve, and some hose. So I'm going to go ahead, cut a little bit of hose, and I'm going to put this right on one end. This part is going to go back onto the car. This side is going to go back on the hose that we're going to remove. So I'm going to go ahead, cut another length. This is your check valve. The arrow is going to point towards the car. So we're going to put that on like that. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right on the car. And so we've already gone ahead and cut the larger of the T's into this line right here underneath the intake manifold. I put 2 hose clamps on to secure it. And then I put the check valve on with the arrow pointing towards the T. To find that line, there's going to be a nipple on the bottom of the intake runner after the throttle body. The next step is to install the solenoid. The solenoid has an arrow that points back to the car, and we're going to hook it up right here on this motor mount. I'm going to leave myself a lot of slack. Cut it. Put the port on, and I'm actually, before I install the next part, I'm going to grab this tubing, and I'm going to pre-hook up the tubing to the solenoid. Now this tubing is going to go to the exhaust valves underneath. And with the provided M6 hardware, just going to fasten it real quickly. And then there is a plug on this, so we don't want to tighten it all the way yet. Underneath the car, we have the vacuum tube that we've routed below. We're going to route it up through the body, trying to avoid all exhaust parts if you can help it. Avoid any rotating assemblies like the axles. When zip tying to the frame, make sure you don't over tighten the zip tie and it clamps the vacuum source. Now right about at this point, we want to go ahead and cut the tube. We're going to install the T for the valves. The valves are located on the top of the exhaust. Go ahead and push the exhaust over the top. Figure out a good length. Go ahead, cut the tubing again, and place the tubing over the end nipples of the valve. And we're going to do the same for the other valve side. And you can rotate the tubing on the nipple to lift the tubing off the top of the exhaust so it's not resting on the top. Our next step is to install the sending unit. This sending unit controls the valves. It has a small antenna. It has a positive and negative that we're going to wire to the car with an inline fuse. And it has a plug that's going to connect to the solenoid we just installed. Our next step is we're going to locate power. I went ahead and turned the car to accessory on, and I'm going to use a multimeter to determine the best location for power. I've already gone ahead and found that this plug has 12 volts, and this is the plug we're going to use for power. On the wire we just found, we found that we have 12 volt accessory on, ignition on power. All cars might not be the same. Check yours to make sure it has the same conditions. Before we install a tap splice, we're going to use this ring terminal that was provided on the negative side of the controller. I'm going to crimp that on just like that. And we're going to install the negative on this bolt right here. Our next step is going to take the tap splice in the hot side of the valve controller, and we're going to stick it into the right side, which has a bottomed end. We're going to go around the power wire we just found, just like that. Then we're going to use a set of pliers, and we're going to crimp everything all together and live splice it. This valve controller is just going to get neatly tucked into the corner over here. Keep in mind you have the antenna wire that we can try to put as close to the outside of the car as possible. So our last step to connect the controller is we're going to run this wire under this trim through the bottom of this trim, down, and then into the engine bay. You can start by just pulling this up gently. And we're going to fish this long lead around the carpet. trim. Tuck up any excess wire right through here, up back into this trim plate. This is going to flow into the engine bay. It's going to plug into the solenoid that we previously installed. Before putting the car all back together, we're going to want to turn the car on and test the function of the valve with the controller, open and closed. Now that you check that the valves are working, you're all set. You're ready to hit the road. If you like parts like this and you want to check out more, check out our website at Rennline.com.